We are 6 months into this new era of my life. 6 months ago, my wife and I decided to get divorced. We also put our dog down. I decided to get rid of all of my stuff and move into this van here. It's been 6 months of soul searching and travel and introspection and spinning in circles and doing nothing and therapy and trying new stuff, trying old stuff. It's been a lot. It's been an interesting time. Today is February 29th, 2024. A leap year. As I was thinking about that, I was speculating what will my life be like on the next leap year 4 years from now when it's 2028 and I am 27 years old, and this whole life falling apart episode feels like more of a distant memory. Just yesterday I hit 100,000 miles on my van, Blondie here. Everything we've been through together, 100,000 miles! Also felt like somewhat of a serendipitous event, a significant milestone in our van life journey together. So I'm here in Slab City, California, free public land, place where many people live out of their vehicles full time, whether for fun or for financial hardship. Home of the iconic Salvation Mountain, very recognizable monument to the kind of hippy-dippy, it's all about love, man, you know, the dirtbag Jesus. Very much my shit, you know, very much that's the kind of philosophy and ideology that I'm very interested in, though to be honest, I still feel like a bit of a poser. You know, I feel like I'm a city rat on vacation when I visit these types of places and get in conversations with people who live here full time. I've been mostly bumming around the Phoenix area. You know, I've gotten a lot of work and creative projects and just connections with friends and everything. So I've not been traveling and exploring nearly as much as I expected to in these first 6 months of van life. And I don't mean to complain about it at all. It's been an enjoyable experience. You know, in some ways it's been not that different from just living in the city and living in an apartment. You know, there's the inconveniences about having to go to the gym every time I want to take a shower and go to a coffee shop or my workspace that I've been using to, you know, just go on my computer and get work done. No complaints. It's been sort of an exciting time to force myself to be out in the world. How is the journey through heartbreak going? That's a good question. I've been thinking about how to measure such a thing, moving through the stages of grief. I remember the first handful of weeks after the divorce, I was crying every day, and then I would start to cry less often, you know, maybe every other day, every 3 days or so, and now I'm only triggered certain times when I think about it long enough, or when a certain memory or event comes up and triggers my memories. That's sort of the easiest way to measure it, I suppose. Another way to think about things is my mental state and where I tend to go when I fantasize about the past or the future. You know, I think earlier on I was very much still in the denial stage, still holding on to this idea that, you know, maybe we're gonna kiss and make up and all is forgiven, get back together and reform the family that we had. You know, at this point, I think I've come to accept that it's not going to happen. Both my ex and I, we both know that if we got back together soon enough, the same old problems we had before would just creep right back to the surface. I think I knew that intellectually even 6 months ago, but I've been able to internalize it more emotionally as of late. So maybe that's progress. In terms of direction, where am I going with my life? I've been embracing this sense of aimlessness, just sort of wandering freely and saying yes to whatever opportunities present themselves and not having much of a clear plan for the future. I will say I'm still there, though perhaps my priorities are shifting slightly as I progress through this phase of my life. I have been really preoccupied with my deconversion from Christianity and religious anxiety for the past, 4 or 5 years at this point, kind of an obnoxious amount of time. And I had this whole idea about how I was going to do 40 days in the wilderness, and I needed to spend time just completely isolated from people. I needed to abandon all of my worldly pleasures. I needed to crawl under a rock and die for a while and see if God is out there and he has anything to say to me. I don't know. It still seems like a really cool idea. I would love to do it, but also, I don't know. I've been living out of a van for 6 months, and at least so far, I haven't made time for it. I still don't have a chunk of time on the calendar to make this 40-day retreat happen. Not to say that it won't, but I'm being mindful of the fact that if this, religious experience is so important to you, why have you not made time for it? And truthfully, I've been really preoccupied with work and with creative endeavors and with relationships and friendships with people, and those things just again and again and again take priority over the whole monastic isolation project. So I don't know. I guess that's something I'm considering a little bit these days. Is this whole religious anxiety rabbit hole? Is it just a total detour, a total dead end that I need to just abandon as quickly as possible, or is there more juice to squeeze out of that rock? Yeah, that's kind of an open question for me. Another preoccupation I have is this idea of creativity, this idea of living the art life. I got that idea from filmmaker David Lynch. He had a documentary called The Art Life where he just talked about, I want to just live the art life, which means all I do is, in his words, smoke cigarettes and drink coffee and paint and just not do anything else. It sounds very cool. It sounds very exciting to me. And I feel like I've sort of been living it. I do client work. I do like boring graphic design stuff sometimes, not enough. And I've been drawing noses every day. Here's a sticker on my phone if you can see that. I've been drawing noses just as a form of absurdist creative expression. Just this idea of I just need to draw something. I need to be engaging in some kind of repetitive creative activity, and I just wanted to choose something that was just silly and unserious and easy to draw quickly, easy to replicate, and it's kind of become a thing. It's sort of taken on more meaning as I go. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that, but I don't know. Hopefully down the future I will eventually grow a little bit more ambitious with my creativity and choose to make something more meaningful than a nose in a notebook every day. So I've got my religious anxiety, I've got my desire to be a creative person and live the art life, and then I've got the whole like van life, freedom, travel, non-consumerism thing. Once again, I'm sort of humbled to admit that I have not traveled as freely and as farly as I expected to. So that's another thing I question as I think about what my goals and priorities are in this van life. I'm still happy with my setup. I still don't really miss living in an apartment all that much. I enjoy living rent-free. I enjoy sleeping outside of parks or in friends' driveways or in just open fields in the desert. That's been pretty fun. I've been able to do okay with just using hotspot on my phone for internet so far. I haven't even had to resort to Starlink as of yet, though once again, maybe I should prioritize my creative career a little bit more and become more ambitious with client work and treat my job like a job and put the time and effort in. Maybe I should invest in internet and productivity, but then again, maybe not. I'm not gonna get to the end of my life and wish that I had churned out more slide decks. You know what I'm saying? This is where I'm at so far. As I look back on the things that I've said in this video, I worry that perhaps someone who clicked on this will come away a little bit disappointed that I offered no answers, only musings and speculations and just scattered thoughts. But I appreciate you being here. There are no questions. There are no answers, only questions. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Live, laugh, van love. Live, laugh, van life. Thank you for being here. This is a document of my life. I've made a video several months ago that I revisit sometimes, where I'm a little bit more of a sad sack, where I was kind of reflecting on all of the hard things that happened in my life, and now I feel like I'm as aimless as ever. I'm always lost, but I think I'm a little bit more joy-filled and a little bit less self-critical and self-loathing even now than I was just a handful of months ago. I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful to anyone who takes the time to listen to me babble on and on and on and on and on. Take care. Thanks very much.